Page 176, Liebestraum. Technically it's Liebestraum number 3, because Liszt wrote 3 of these. It's a beautiful melody. There's lots of recordings on it. This is a lead sheet. Again, they give you the melody and the chords, and you make up the accompaniment. So I'll go through the process I use for learning music from a lead sheet. First, I need to learn the melody very well. Now this is in the key of C major, 3/4 time with a pickup beat. 1, 2, 3. Now they want a third finger. The idea is we need to be in this position. We don't need to be in this position. So let's talk fingering for a little bit. You have a bunch of E's there in the first line. They're all E's except for the first note is a G. We have this to start with, but if you look at measure 6, we have an F, and that's not in this position. So we come up 1 to this position. And whether the thumb is here, that depends on the music. I think we're staying here, it doesn't matter. But what we want is basically here to here to cover the F. So what they're doing at the beginning is here, and then they go to third finger. That puts you in this position. So you're playing the F with fourth finger. That's fine, it's just not necessary. It really isn't. We don't need to go all the way up there. Fourth finger is fine in that second measure of where they have the 3. 4 is fine, just go here. Just stay there. Yeah, and then you come down for the A and claps. Because we move back down. We were here and we come here. That's my opinion. So I would use fourth finger on that second dotted half note, not third. On the fourth line down, you have the crossover. The idea here is we're getting ready for what's coming. So we're getting our hand in position, because if you look at the last line, we got to go all the way up to here in this position. So we need to be here. And that's why we're doing that. Now we're in that position. We're ready to go. And they want you to do again a measure 19 and 20. You don't need to. You just stay there. Here, that's fine. I think it's a little easier to do it that way because I like to connect the notes, and this puts me closer to what I need next because we're not done at the end. That DC Alfini takes us back to the beginning. We've got to play that note. Well, if I here, fourth finger, I'm closer to it. I can actually reach it. If I do it here, I'm way off. No, I don't recommend that. So, for the last line, measure 19 here, stay there. Stay right there, third finger, not thumb. So I get the fingering and the melody worked out. When I'm comfortable with it, then I'll play the chords. I want to make sure I know what the chords are. So first we have a C chord, and I don't know where I'm going to play it yet, so I'll just, root position is fine. Generally, we start out with this with the idea of doing primary chords. We're going to be there, whatever, if we need them, and we'll make adjustments as we need them. So we're starting here, and then you have an E chord. Well, what's an E chord? An E is here. There's a G sharp and an E chord. It's an E major chord. The M, remember when it's a capital E like that, it's a major chord, and a major chord is made up of a major third and minor third. Do we cover all that junk? So a major third and a minor third. There's 4 half steps and 3 half steps. The point is it's that. So can I get there from here? Yes, I can. So the E. It's this, I just put the B on the bottom. I didn't move. And then we have an A chord, A major, remember A major is C sharp, and D major, and then a D minor, and a G. C chord. I don't know exactly where I want to play them yet. I just want to make sure I know what the chords are. Measure 15, we have an F minor chord. Remember the little M means minor? An F chord is that. A minor chord, just take the middle down It's got an A flat. So that's a minor chord, and then a C chord. And then in the last line, now we have an A minor chord. Well, remember we had a major chord before, but a minor chord is that. And then in the E chord again, remember the E chord is that. And then the G chord. A G chord is that. I just put that on the bottom. Again, I don't know where I want to play the chords yet. I just want to make sure I know what the notes are in the chord. That's all. I could play root position on all of these. Then I try and put them together, so I want to hear what the harmony sounds like with the melody. So it's here. C chord, E chord, A chord, D chord, D minor, G chord, C. And then going on, measure 15 is an F minor, C chord, A minor, E chord, G chord, and you go back to the top with this C chord. Okay, so I hear the harmony in the melody. Okay, sounds okay, then I'm ready to go on. If it doesn't sound quite right, I gotta figure out what's wrong. Am I playing the wrong chord, or I just don't like the harmony, whichever. Then we think about the different variations, patterns for the accompaniment. 3/4 time, remember, it's triads. Try different ones out. That's one. I could do the chuck chuck. It's out of character for the piece, but it is a pattern you can try out and experiment with. They give you a pattern on page 177. It's just do the extended position to that. Give you those chords over there. They actually even give you the note names or the notes in the chords because they have them as broken chords. You can do that way. So you just play around with it. You want to add pedal? Go ahead. Typically we do. We want this all nice and connected and smooth and the overtones and all. That's what it does. Just play around with it and experiment with it. I disagree a little bit with their notation. If you were my student, I'd have you fix it. But you'll notice in the third line, you have the first ending and second and third endings. See, they can combine endings together, and that's what they've done here. So the first time you play it, you do the first ending and then you repeat back to the beginning. And then the second time you play it, you do the second ending and go on, because there's no repeats on. The DC Alfini sends you back to the beginning to start again, but this is the third time now. And the third time you play it, you do the third ending, which is the same as the second. The second and third endings are sharing the same ending. They can do that. That's okay. Just follow the numbers is all it is. But at the fine, at the end of the third line, that the double bars, that should be a thin and thick bar, not a double bar. So just take a pencil and widen out the second bar so it's a thin and thick. The thin and thick bar line is the symbol for the end of a piece. It doesn't have to be at the bottom. It has to be at wherever the piece ends. It could be anywhere. And so that's where it needs to be. Even though the first time you went through that, you didn't end there, you kept going. Nevertheless, the piece ended there. Therefore, it should be a thin and thick bar line there. Let me know if you have any questions on this. I don't do play with me's on these. You can do that.